Hello, this is Trop, and welcome to another video, I guess. Do you remember when you could distinguish people based on their philosophy, taste in music, general fashion, because people were involved with their own little, subculture? Do you? Well, I sure don't, because that's the topic of this video. Yes, the death of the subculture. And yeah, there are very many reasons why it has died. Over the past, 30 years has certainly been on the decline, which totally doesn't have to do anything with the creation of the internet and how culture has been homogenized, and since basically all facets of information have become readily available, maybe, I'm not sure, but I think it might coincide with that, because look at it this way: when you've got an infinite supply of entertainment and information on social media, various websites, on mainly one technological source, that being the internet, which billions of people use it on a daily basis for many hours, I think we shouldn't probably be too surprised that the concept of belonging to a certain group of people, who kind of seek their identity through a certain musical genre or whatever, the fact that that is less seen nowadays. If you go on the street, like, you won't see very specific, type of person who dresses in a certain way, listens to a certain band, certain genre of music. So again, refraining to culture has been homogenized. Well, yeah, that's kind of what the result is. There's less variety, more people are kind of being, over the past few decades, being conditioned to more or less seek the same sort of entertainment value on the internet, and obviously that has resulted in less diversity when it comes to culture and expression. And I think that is a good reason as to why people see this decade especially as particularly bleak, as not what it used to be back in the day, because it seems that people back in the day used to be a bit more sociable and more inclined to be in like one specific group, to unite, I guess, and be interested in one specific kind of genre or like kind of general way of life, I guess you could look at it like that as well. In the past, you were judged kind of who you were as a person, which obviously is still very much true, but you were also a part of a community, whether that be family or the people who you grew up with, or the people you hanged around with, again, a specific group. Back in the day, people used to bond over specific stuff, create bands, do really fun stuff, and I don't know, I just, it's less prominent now than it was 50 years ago. It's very weird. And again, when it comes to the music industry, that I think has been completely ruined and mechanized by record labels, and then subsequently the advent of music softwares and computers and laptops, and that has obviously resulted in low effort bollocks being created. Obviously, I'm not saying everything created on a computer or with help of some sort of software on the computer makes the said music invalid, but I mean, you can notice the complexity of music has certainly died down a bit ever since the late 1990s, so maybe there's some correlation, I don't know, but I'll leave that to you. I mean, it's no secret many people have been talking about this for years, if not decades. Whether that be, the state of music, the music industry, or just the existence of bands in themselves. Many people have pointed out that it does seem kind of empty nowadays. There's less bands popping off, less new genres being reinvigorated or created. Does seem very weird. Again, I'm saying that for the 50th time, but you know what I mean. obviously looking back at the 70s and 80s, which I know that is a lot of cherry picking, but the amount of variety, the kind of type of music that was being played at that time, yeah, like you just won't see that anymore. The amount of crazy things that was being created on a weekly basis, the hits that were being released, and the amount of bands constantly emerging from the background scene, the underground, if you will. Just a whole bunch of teenagers just playing guitar in the garages somewhere in America or England as well. So that's just something we won't see anymore in the future, and less of, because there's still people doing that stuff. But it does seem that the amount of bands playing and young people doing that stuff, it does seem that it's becoming less usual, less common. And can we at least appreciate the amount of diversity that bands had? Just the way, so many genres to choose, and so many genres to mix as well. The amount of influence that blues had on British bands was very unusual and very extreme as well. Or the influence of Jamaican reggae and ska on the British scene, and then we have bands as for example the Special Madness, and obviously I can list many other examples. But you can just see that there's literally just less things happening when it comes to music. It's all a bit the same, which I know is a really controversial opinion, but there are some fairly noticeable discrepancies. And obviously all of that happened many years ago, and the environment was very much different during those times, and the past wasn't always good when it came to a certain topic and a certain art form on this. But I hope there will be a change maybe in the future. That's all that I'm saying. But anyway, do leave your